Parker McCollum.
Parker, how are you, bud?
I'm really good now. How are you?
Dude, I'm good. It's I'm always impressed when you show up, and we heard you singing. We do a little sound check before you come on, and he's good, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just as
Some
good as
days.
you would
What
think.
if one day someone came in and we were like, "Hey man, we heard you doing sound check. It wasn't that good."
Yeah, quite honestly, we thought
No
it was
more
gonna be
show.
better.
Do you ever, if people come over to your house, do you have a guitar in the living room? Do you keep one close?
They're all in my office.
So people just don't come over and be like, "Hey man, while I'm here, will you play me a song?"
Well, I actually don't have any. Literally, I don't have any friends here, so no one comes over right now. So I'm looking to make some friends.
How long have you been in Nashville living?
2 months, maybe.
And so I watched your Instagram story. Your girlfriend, is she living with you, or
She
just
is.
okay? And was that a big step for you guys?
I don't think so. I mean, we went from dating long distance for 2 years to living together. But she's like the easiest, sweetest, most wonderful human being ever. So I think anybody could live with her.
Did you live with her in Texas?
No, sir.
So this was it. Like when you moved
This
here,
is
it was the first time. How did
This is
that conversation go? Was it just like, "Hey, we're gonna do this, right?"
Well,
Or
she had always said, you know, she's like, we're not gonna live together until we're married. And I was like, that's fine. I'll squeeze out every last day of living. I love living by myself, you know. I was like, I'll squeeze out every last day I can. And then I bought that house just south of town, and she was like, well, she's going to nursing. She just started nursing school here, so she was like, well, I guess I'll move in. You know, I don't want to pay for an apartment, and when I'm gonna be here all the time and all that. So I thought,
so, and it's going good.
that's great.
Have you learned anything about yourself and living with another person?
You know, we've been on the road the past few weeks. So since we moved into the house, I really haven't. We have Memorial Weekend off, so this is kind of like our first big test this weekend. But no, I haven't learned anything about myself.
No. So for me, I learned I'm probably a little messier than I thought. When
I'm super clean, so I'm the opposite.
I felt that way too. Yeah, but I felt like I was super clean too until I got Kaylin, and I was like, I leave clothes everywhere. Like,
Yeah.
and so it's not dirty, but if I'll walk in the house and I just take all my clothes off immediately. So it's just like, and I just throw them on the floor.
I love that.
And then
That's great.
and I'll come back around and grab them. But I realized, man, maybe I'm a little sloppier than I thought. But you're just perfect.
No. Lots of flaws. We just hide them really well.
Let me ask you this. This is a situation we have at my house. Would you or would she, in a pinch, use the other person's toothbrush?
Sure.
Sure, he answered that so
Yeah.
quickly.
About
So you have.
I mean, I would rather
you?
have clean teeth and then just have to like swallow the fact that I used her toothbrush. I mean, if you're gonna be kissing each other,
But I'm
what's
not
different
licking-
than rubbing the brush?
But I'm not licking the back of her teeth, like really trying to get the plaque off of
You're
there.
not?
No, that's not my style.
That's weird.
Maybe
Oh,
you,
man,
maybe
I thought,
you young
I
guys.
thought
are-
everybody was doing that.
You guys are doing it different these days, huh? I did see a tweet about you. You said you wrote "hell of a year" in the drive-through of a Whataburger.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm only in Whataburger for like 15 minutes in a
I don't know
drive-through.
what Whataburger you're going through.
No,
the
he's-
same one that you wrote this at, I lived right by.
William Kenyon 35.
Yes.
Well, I didn't write the whole song in the
Okay,
drive-thru.
got it.
It was like 2 a.m. and I'd been writing that record that song's on probably wrong, and I was in the middle of writing it, and had gone to eat real late at night and wrote I think the chorus and the first verse in the drive-thru, and just kind of the next morning I woke up and it was in my phone and finished it the next morning. So
Got it. I
half
read
of
it like
was
he wrote an
written.
entire song waiting for his order at Whataburger.
As long as they take it, certainly possible. It's worth it every time.
The new EP Hollywood Gold is out. It is 6 songs. I mean, it's got Pretty Hard on it, which was your first number one. Which,
Yes.
by the way, there's another song on there that is Haley Ray Light.
Hallie Ray Light.
Haley Ray, which is your girlfriend.
Yes,
Wait, that's her. You wrote that. You titled it her.
I did.
You did the whole thing.
That's a funny story.
Okay, I'd like to hear it because I don't know it.
So my buddy Gus West is a real good cowboy out of West Texas. We were playing a rodeo he puts on out there. This is like 3 or 4 years ago now. And he had been telling me about this girl named Hallie Ray Light, and he was like, you got to meet this girl. I'd never seen a picture or anything, but just the name, I remember being like, Hallie Ray Light, it's got to go on a song. Long story short, she ended up coming to a show. She was going to Oklahoma State, Stillwater, Oklahoma. We played there at the Tumbleweed. She came to the show. It was my first night ever on a tour bus, and so I don't think, like anybody else on their first night on a tour bus, you probably thought you were a little cooler than you really are. She didn't stay very long. She didn't think very much of me, and but I thought a lot of her. And I was hollering at her for like 9 months. She would not even give me the time of day. But I was writing that song, Hallie Ray Light, the whole time that she was ignoring me. And so it was like 9 or 10 months. I think I was after her pretty steady, and she finally came around. And so the song originally ends with "Goodbye, Hallie Ray Light," and then when she came around, I changed it to also saying it says "Goodbye" the second chorus, but it ends with "Good night."
And what does she think about you writing a song about her, but then putting her name in it, then release. And I mean, it's a whole thing. Does she like that?
I think so. She didn't say when she heard the song. I remember I was like, "Oh, it's gonna be great." She's gonna listen to it. Like we'd cut it in the studio. It's all mastered, ready for the record. And she listened to it and she was like, "Oh, it's good." And I was like,
That's
it was
funny.
rough, man.
That's
It was
funny.
rough.
All right, tell me about "To Be Loved by You." This is the current single, but it's not on Hollywood Gold.
It is not. It's on the record that comes out this summer called Gold Chain Cowboy.
That's the gold. That's why I'm confused. You got gold and everything.
No, it really bugged me, and man, and I just got to get over things like that.
That's what it is. I was confused by it, but I went with it.
Oh.
It's on the record that is coming out. That you let Twitter decide the title of this record, because I also voted in this poll.
Thank you.
I voted for Gold Chain Cowboy, by the way.
Thank you. It made it.
Tell me about "To Be Loved by You."
"To Be Loved by You," that was my merch guy, Lane Peace, and I were in my truck headed to bus call one day in Austin, and we were going on the road, and Hallie Ray and I were going through it a little bit at the time, and I said out loud, kind of being funny, kind of being serious, I was like, "Man, what does a man have to do to be loved by that girl?" And he was like, "Oh, you should write that down." And people say that all the time, and I'm like, "That's dumb," but it was good, and and so I wrote it down, and when we got to the bus, we have a little mini like parlor guitars, Baby Martin on the back of the bus, and sat down and didn't write anything down. I just like sang the first verse and chorus. It just how it came out on the recording is how it is in the song, and never wrote it down. And then didn't think anything of it. And I was writing with my buddy Red Akins here in town, probably like 2 weeks later, and I was like, "Man, I really don't want to write today, so let's make this quick. Let's just finish this thing that I've started." And his eyes kind of lit up when I played it, and he was like, "Yeah, let's do it." So we wrote a second verse, and that was the song.
So you said, "I don't feel like writing today. Let's just do this real quick."
Chop, chop.
Yeah.
Hey, Rhett. Let's go. Chop it, chop it, chop it.
Yeah.
Hey, tell me about this new song, "Drinking."
Drinking. That's an older song, man.
Wait, it's older?
It's older.
This says new.
No. It's new now, but when I wrote it.
Oh my God, I'm about to be like, I'm the worst interviewer ever. I thought I just saw you. Okay, go ahead.
As far as so there's like this vault that the record has and Warner Chappell has of everything I've written, and I feel like all the good songs I've written aren't in them because I don't turn them in. But this is one that got turned in. I finished with my buddy Lee Miller. But man, I like self-sabotage in the past to like be sad and write sad country songs, and as terrible as that sounds, it's true.
That's funny.
But it's worked a couple times, and Drinking was one that's super late night, up writing songs, doing things I shouldn't have been doing, and Drinking came out of it, kind of a verse and chorus thing, and again, never thought anything about it, and I was writing with Lee Miller one day, and I was like, "I don't want to write today. Let's make this quick." So
Chop chop.
chop
Chop guy who has a lot of number ones.
Yeah, and he's just a monster writer. But I did not. That was our first time ever hanging out, so I didn't know that at the time. I go home and I'm like, "God, you're an idiot." Like try hard, dude, and put some effort in. But it's fine because this song, it's great. It came out, and I thought it ended up turning out really well. But all the people in it are real people, and which like all the songs that I write are, and they're all true, and I lived them, and unfortunately, I live this one too.
So let me get. It's an old song, but it is new to us.
Yes, so I wrote it summer of 2018. So to me, that's old. I feel like.
Got it. I was about to go. If I screw this up,
no, you're doing great.
Thank you. He's coaching me through. He's like, "Man, you're doing great at this interview." Thank you. Okay, got it. Did you know? Fun fact: Lee Miller wrote a bunch of Raging Idiot songs. Eddie and myself.
Really?
Yeah, number
I
one
did not know
comedy
that.
songs.
He's a monster, man. And it's weird because when we write, he'll like. I remember the first couple times I wrote with him, he didn't say anything for like an hour. And I'm like, "Is he alive? Like, is he breathing over there?" And then all of a sudden he's like, "Yeah, what about this?" And you're like,
he needed your encouragement. Like I just got. Now I feel like I'm top of the world. I can do any interview.
such a talented guy.
Yeah. What's the goal the rest of the year for you? I know you're out on the road. You're with Dirks. Are you doing other shows? Your shows as well?
Yeah, well, they're kind of weaved in between that tour. So I think that tour is only like Thursday, Friday, Saturday every week. I could be totally wrong about that. I have no idea. And I have no idea where we're playing or where we're going on that tour. But I will be there, and which is the case most of the time.
Yeah.
I never know where we're going. But what we'll do, like we're headlining like Dos Equis Pavilion in Dallas in between that tour, and stuff like that. So
you're just a road warrior, man.
Yeah, I like to be.
Do you feel comfortable on a bus? Can you sleep?
100%. I'm a bus guy. Like they always say there's bus guys and or gals, or other, and bus guy gal.
They.
Yeah. And so I'm a bus guy, man. I love to be on my bus, and they're expensive. So I'm like, why wouldn't I want to be on the damn thing?
Yeah, you're paying for it.
Yeah. And I sleep great. I always say the best sleep you get in your whole life is on a bus. I mean, it's ice cold AC. It's pitch black. The motor hums you to sleep. I mean, it's ideal.
Except when it's rolling, I get shit.
You got to sleep on driver's side, so you're with the roll of the driver.
Well, here's the thing. I'm gonna flex on you a little bit. I have Star Bunk.
Yes.
I have the.
I just got rid of it. I didn't like it.
What do you mean?
I had one for like 3 weeks, and I didn't like sleeping on the back of the bus.
So you sleep in the middle of the bus?
I got a condo bunk.
Well, I don't know what's a condo bunk.
You know, like bunks, their regular size are kind of small.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like there's 3 in each row deal. Well, you can take one out, and so there's 2. So you have more
headspace.
Yeah, more headspace, and it feels way bigger. But sleeping in between the axles versus on top of the back axle is much better.
Well, all I know is I get back there and I get in the bed and I'm like, yep, I'm in the Star Bunk, and then all of a sudden I'm just shaking all over the place, and I'm like, this sucks.
Star coaches are rough. For like 3 weeks, I was like, man, why am I not sleeping good? And I was like, it's because I'm not sleeping. So when I get that little curtain closed in that bunk, dude, it's I was about to say it's party time, but that's not party time. It's sleep time.
All right, listen. It's my favorite new artist, Parker McCollum. Follow him at Parker McCollum. He's got 6 songs on Hollywood Gold, and later this year, Gold Chain Cowboy comes out.
Yeah. July?
Is that official?
When the label says July, I feel like that means like December.
Yeah.
To a label, but I think it's official.
All right, there he is, Parker McCollum.
Cool. Thank you guys.
Good to see you, my friend. There he is.
It's a Bobby Bones show.